Let f of x equals x times the quantity 4x minus 4 times the quantity x squared minus x minus 6 all over x plus 9. Which of the following x values would result in f of x is less than 0? This problem is terrible. So this is what I want to do. I want to get a nice visual of what this picture is going to look like so I can figure out what this guy is going to look like. Let's keep you the way you are, and then also factor you out off to the side here. So what I could do is leave x like x. Let's whip a 4 out and put it in front of that x, leaving us with x minus 1. Let's factor u out to x minus 3, x plus 2, and you can't do much with the bottom. Okay, you can't do much with the bottom, x plus 9. Now I have 4 factors living up here. Yes, you are a factor, so invisible parentheses right there. The magic numbers are going to be the numbers that make each factor equal to 0. So your magic number is 0 because plugging in 0 would make u 0 and make the whole thing 0. Same thing with 1, make u 0, the whole thing 0. Same thing with 3, same thing with negative 2. Okay, the magic number down here is negative 9. None of these numbers repeat, which means you are all zeros and you are a vertical asymptote. Okay, so if I were to graph this information so far, and again, by graphing, I mean we're going to sketch just a regular old graph, nothing fancy, right? We have negative 9 way over here, you're a vertical asymptote. Okay, we have negative 2 over here, we have 0 over here, we have 1 right here, and we have 3 right here. Okay, that's the information that we have so far. That's the information that we have so far. I can get more information, though, as to what this graph is going to look like. So information number 1 that I can get is I notice that, all right, well, I can find out what my y-intercept is by taking all the constants up here. So my constants would be, let me see, well, hold on. There is no constant up here. This is going to go through 0. How do I know that this is going to go through 0, 0? Because if I were to multiply everything out, I wouldn't have a plus 0 at the end. See, the way you find out what the y-intercept is you take whatever constant number that's upstairs and divide it by whatever constant number that's downstairs. Well, up here, my constant number would be a plus 0 because if I were to factor 4 throughout everything, I'm not going to have some number lingering around. So my y-intercept is going to be 0. So this is going to go through the origin. So that's going to count for something. That's going to count for something. Another thing that I can notice is I notice that, all right, well, I want to find out what the end behavior is so I can kind of draw a rough sketch of what this is going to be. The end behavior is found by taking x times 4x times x squared, which is 4x to the 4th, and dividing it by x. When you are positive and you are positive, A, and when B, your degree is higher than U, this goes to positive infinity as x moves along to the right and negative infinity as x moves along to the left. So that's going to be my end behavior. So I have enough information to draw myself a decent looking picture. So what this picture is going to look like is you're going to start down here. Okay, now as this is moving up, it's not going to hit a 0 at any point before my vertical asymptote. So this is going to come back down and never cross the x-axis and explode down there. Now since there's no multiplicity, it's going to reappear up here. Okay, it's going to come down, go through negative 2, and then come back up and go through 0. Okay. It's going to, now no asymptotes again, so it's going to come back down through the 1 and then back up through the regular 3 and go that way. Now, is this going to be the exact picture? No, absolutely not. But this is what this is going to give us. Now I have areas where I can tell where these numbers live. So for example, my job is to find out where stuff is negative. If x is negative 1, that means x is going to live somewhere in between here. That is negative, so you are a true statement so far. If x is 2, that means you're going to live between 1 and 3. That's negative as well. So you are also a true statement, so A is my answer right away. Now, if I were to look at an option that doesn't work, like B, if I were to plug in 0, I get 0, which is not less than 0. If I were to plug in 3, that is 0, which is not less than 0. If I were to plug in 5, that's going to live above the x-axis. So none of these would work. It's not like some of them would work. None of them would work. If I would plug in -8, that's over here. That's above the x-axis, so you don't work. If I were to plug in -4, same thing. That's above the x-axis. You wouldn't work. If I plugged in 6, that's way over here. That's above the x-axis. You wouldn't work. If I were to plug in 1, that's on the x-axis. You don't count. So A is the only option that works because of this picture that we were able to poorly, but accurately, somewhat accurately draw out. Very challenging problem, but we did it.